Okay, so we are back, prep series. I'm here again with Trevor. If you guys watched the last prep series 2 years ago, we were training at Trevor's place. And we're still training together, still killing it. We're on our second upper body day today. So shoulder dominant with some chest in there because I'm still trying to make sure I can hit this top of my chest and keep building it up. Basically that. Keep hammering this to make sure it continues to grow or sustain the muscle that I have. So when I'm on stage, I still have this that's available there. So we're gonna really just like ride a good long negative, a nice concentric or positive contraction at the top and squeezing, a nice stretch at the bottom. This machine's like pretty heavy. So I'm gonna add a little bit of weight on here, but just enough to keep us in that 10 to 15 range. I feel a lot more, the target is way better, I feel, this one. This says you can switch the angle on it. You can move this up, we can incline it a little bit, or put it straight up. So some tips, guys, when you're training and you're, like I'm always like emphasizing like time and attention, which is great, but there's like so much more to just always emphasize the negative. So when you're doing this, like for me, it's like I'm trying to make sure I'm like hitting every part of, I would say every contraction. So like I'm gonna ride the negative, I'm gonna really stretch the bottom contraction, that hold there, and I'm gonna really try squeezing the positive as well too. So I'm getting a lot more time and attention, but then I'm like keeping the load here as much as I possibly can. So you're gonna see me, this machine allows me to really stretch in a safe way. So I'm gonna really I'm just gonna exhaust that as much as I can. And like with the weight I'm using, it's not that heavy. It's like 45, I mean this machine's pretty heavy, but regardless, it's not necessarily about the weight, more so than how long I can make this load stay isolated on my pec minor and my anterior delts as well. So just think of that when you're training. Try to get 10 minimum reps, but make them tough, 10 to 20 reps, but just emphasize every part of the contraction. So I'm gonna ride it down, I'm gonna stretch, just stretch, drive it up. Controlling it down, stretch, squeeze it up. I want to just try some other machines, even though I've used them. Yeah. But this turns into a incline too. We're in Pure Muscle Fitness, so like it's like a playground. It's literally there's like 6 different pieces for every muscle group, minimum 6 pieces. There's at least 20 right here for legs. I'm doing another Panada machine. Looking for Ferrari. It comes with instructions. All right, let's see where this is at. All right, so we got new machines. So we gotta do some feeler sets, figure these bad boys out, but we're using the Panada. This is a Panada commercial today. So what we're gonna do with this, again, same thing as before. We wanna get back and as soon as we get down, big breath in, expand the chest, and then push away, push us out the back of the bench, controlling it down, big chest, and squeeze up. Oh, there you go, it has one of those things too, so you don't snap your shoulder off. All right, same, 10 to 15 reps. Basically like 10's the minimum. I'm gonna make every set hard as I can before adding weight. So if I find, a few reps into this set, it's not nearly as hard as it can be, I'm just gonna slow my rep down more, pause the bottom more, and pause the top more. If last set I'm gonna do, you see my last rep, it was like a very hit, and then this one was like, So I'm gonna stop a couple reps before failure, and then I'm gonna do a quick little like mile or rest pause, and then bang as many reps as I can, which will probably be like 3. All right, so my focus on this is to do my best to keep my chest up the entire time. So when it comes back, I'm not riding up like this in the back. So I'm doing my best to keep my chest up so when it's coming back, my chest stays up and my shoulders don't ride up. And then I want my elbows to stay behind and not underneath and do this, more so than be here and pressing through. And then also, I don't want to move this thing, the hand, I want to like force it back. I want to like flex into it. So if you watch my rep, I'm opening up, a nice stretch, long right across the arms, I'm level. And then I'm gonna squeeze through and open it up. So I don't want to just like come in like this and just start doing that. So I'm open up here, then I want my chest, like I'm flexing through my chest. And when I finish, my chest stays high. So I'm pushing back still and not rounding. All right, so I'm gonna finish off and do some dumbbell lateral raises, and then face pulls, and that'll be it. So basically hit the entire like 360 all the way around. So we've hit the anterior delt and pec minor, and I have those like twice a week. My chest day and my shoulder day will have very similar movements in there because, like you said, I'm trying to continue to grow my chest as much as I can until I can't, elicit growth. But at that point, still being able to just like stimulate, the muscle so I can at least keep it full. Because as I prep, everything will start getting flatter and flatter and flatter. So I'm gonna do dumbbells. I don't like cable, except every once in a while I like doing dumbbell lateral raises, but I'm gonna do a little anything. I'm basically gonna increase the range of motion and go a little higher up, control the weight down a little more. It's basically how you want to do dumbbell lateral raises if you're gonna do any kind of lateral raise, is like really get the range from like here to here. All right, so I'm just gonna cheat a little bit. Not cheat, but I'm gonna adjust my leverage a bit, so I'm gonna do a slight little bit of a tilt forward, a hinge. So right now the weight is kind of sitting here, right? If I sit straight up like this, the weight's just really coming down, nothing much happening. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a hinge, and that weight's gonna naturally fall in front of me. And then I'm gonna take the weight from here, and it's gonna come all the way up, and then down, right? So I'm gonna be on an angle a little bit, so when I go all the way up, there's a greater stress at the top. So I'll give you an idea of where I'm feeling this from floor to core. Like having my weight here, I'm literally, like my toes are, you guys might not think much of it, but like the entire body's engaged in this. So a lot of my leverage and bounce is coming from my toes. I'm literally, while I'm here, like kind of tilting forward, my toes are gripping in the floor. So when I do the actual like raise, my toes are almost like doing this while I'm actually raising it up. And it's helping me keep the momentum tilt completely out. So you watch my set at the bottom, just watch the way my body actually like is engaging. I'm all the way up. When I get down, you'd see my chest and everything engaged because my pec minor, or I would say your intercostal head, helps with shoulder extension as well too. So at the bottom, to keep that momentum away, I'm finishing up to down here. And then from here, pulling all the way up and then coming all the way down. So I'm flexing the entire time. So I'm just sitting kind of like this, and then doing this, and back here. If you watch, I can hold weight here. My chest is super smooth. Everything's kind of just chilling, right? But if I'm here, and then from here, and then I'm down again, right? So having said that, the last set, 25s are harder. I'm not decreasing the weight to make it easier. I'm decreasing the weight so I can put more time and attention, because the heavier the load, the less time and attention. And I want more time and attention. So I'm gonna decrease it by like 5 pounds, but I'm gonna make it even harder and longer. Same amount of reps, longer time and attention. Some people are like, how many reps are you supposed to do? Think like more like time, and like divide, like for fun, time a set. So get your training partner, time your set, then divide your set by how many reps you do. And that'll give you an idea of how your time and attention of how hard or intense your set was. So if I time my set and it's like 20 seconds and I did 10 reps, it's a 2-second rep, right? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And depending on the load, it's probably not that hard. So like, you know, take your full set, divide it by the reps. And then next time you do it, be like, all right, I'm gonna aim to get at least 30 seconds, all right? 30 seconds, if you can. And see how much different it is. Those same 10 reps, now a 3-second set, 3-second rep. Let's now take that 30 seconds to go to 45 seconds, the top. What does that look like now? Well, probably not 10 reps, but they say those like 10 reps turn into 12 reps, right? It all equals out in the end. But it's not necessarily how many reps you do, but how long you're doing it for. Big Mike's here in his natural habitat. Look at him over there, prepping away. All right. So I got the face pulls a little bit lower than my shoulder. I do want to work a little more trap with my back. I'm still working rear delts. So if I'm coming lower up, I'm gonna get a lot more like, if I come from low to high, traps, and then more lateral head, right? Because it's basically doing this. If you think about it. So gravity-wise, this weight's coming here, you're getting lateral head and traps, right? If I'm bringing it from more so this angle and back, I'm gonna get traps and more delt, right? Rear delts. So we've already basically covered every other part of my shoulder. Lateral delt, I'm clavicle head, anterior delt, lateral delt, and now we're doing rear. So when I'm on like cables, I tend to be a lot more, I would say, like meticulous with my reps in terms of like there's no jerking. I'm not using, like I'm naturally really good at, I would say, creating momentum without showing a lot of body English with it. So if you think of like a jab is really quick, but it's fast, but it's under control. So I kind of like slow that right down to that. Just like as soon as I start moving, it is explosive, but I'm like controlling that explosiveness to be sustained the entire movement back. So I'm not just like and holding it, and it's from here, and that's coming right from like it's that. You can see as I literally go, this starts pulling. So and you don't hear me breathe that much, but like I'm literally hearing. Right, so I'm controlling it, so I'm flexing it back, and then pausing and squeezing, and then letting it go back and pushing it away. And then I'm flexing it back. I'm not just fucking jerking this thing like I'm trying to put a lawnmower on, right? You can make any exercise hard without adding weight. Now again, don't think I'm saying lighten the load and be a pussy. I'm saying like find the happy medium that's gonna it's gonna feel terrible, but you're in complete control of that. Like each rep I'm making this like harder and harder and harder. The weight is challenging, but in terms of like me controlling the output of this and the effort, the intensity, I'm increasing the intensity rep to rep as I go by just being more meticulous to my every contraction. I am controlling every little bit of the contraction. None of this is momentum. None of this is jerking. that is it. So a little review on my last exercise. I treat, you know, face pulls like I would any kind of like row in terms of like my scap protraction. So I do want my scaps to completely protract, and then I want them to retract. That's the finisher of this. Is elbows back and then my being here. So I'm here letting it pull me out, and then it's pull all the way back, all the way out. So like I said, bodybuilding is being meticulous. Being a competitive bodybuilder, you have to like train smart to be able to create the physique that the judges will put first, second, third, fourth, or fifth. Take the genetics that you have and you do your best to create that physique. So if I know there's parts that are lagging, I'm gonna hammer those ones down a lot harder, more frequently. So I'm gonna have rear delts, and I'm gonna have delts with all my, with back, with chest, with shoulders, and so forth. Anyway, that is it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. More videos to come. We'll be here at Pure Muscle and Fitness the entire week, shooting, collaborating, and give you guys amazing content. Make sure you guys grab my ebook. More videos, check these out. Add me on Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. Send me your progress pics, your training pics, and your video clips, and I'll repost it for you, because you know how it is. Iron sharpens iron. Regardless of overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace.